One of the things that I've figured out after I had finished nursing school was that was probably the hardest part of nursing school. And I realized that you can do anything you want to. It's just a sacrifice of time. Because that's what nursing was. That's what nursing school was. It's not that you can't learn the information. It's a lot of stuff that they expect you to learn for a 50-question test. You got 500 pages to read, and they don't tell you, hey, just go read it, come take this test. So it's a sacrifice of time. And what are you willing to trade? And I find that to be true of most things in life. At least for me it was, right? What are you willing to sacrifice? If you're willing to sacrifice your time and get it taken care of, you can do it.
Welcome to Navigating Nursing with CompassRN. I am your host, Eileen, and today we have guests Akil and Shantana. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
It's good to be here.
So, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am Shantana Senegal. I am a native Houstonian. H-Town. Hey!
Yes.
Yes, and I am a master's prepared nurse. I have a degree in nursing administration, and that's about it.
How many years of nursing do you have under your belts?
I've been a nurse for 20 years, so I've been at it for quite a long time.
Yes, yeah. That's an accomplishment, to say the least. And you, Akil?
My name's Akil Williams. I am from Charleston, South Carolina. I am an adult geriatric nurse practitioner. I've been a nurse. I stopped counting. I graduated in 96.
Okay.
So it was 29 years.
So it's been a little while.
It's been a little bit of time.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and I've been a nurse practitioner for about 10 years.
Okay.
And I'm currently at the VA.
Okay. And so, Shantana, can you tell us what led you to want to go into the field of nursing?
So, my grandmother, she was a private duty nurse, and she worked for a couple for as long as I can remember. I don't know how many years she did it. She's in heaven now. I would see her get up, and she worked the night shift, and she would always have this very starched white uniform and the little hat, and she was always in a good mood, and the family that she worked for really loved her. Yeah. And she had a lot of stories to tell about that family. It was as if they were family as well. So there was something heartwarming about that, and something I always remembered, even with her passing. And that was something I wanted for myself.
Okay. And yourself, Akil, what made you go into nursing?
My story is a little bit circular, right? I actually started out as a marine biology major.
Okay.
Because I love science, math and science. That was my thing. And I wound up working for work study in a lab and realized I'm the only person in this lab, and this is boring. I did not enjoy that. So for a few years, it was undecided. Then I chose nursing. Career center, testing or whatever. Went to the career center. Nursing was a good choice. So, I was like, okay, that's a mixture of people and math and science. So it seemed like a perfect fit. I can use that love of math, and science, and how things work, but also have interactions with people.
Yes.
So that worked out.
So you're a people person.
Yes.
Like to be in the mix.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I'm a little bit of an extrovert, so.
A little bit.
A little bit.
We all have a little bit of each side,
Yeah.
It just depends on where you are in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it worked out. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's been
So
good.
you found where you were supposed to be.
Yes.
And that's okay that you didn't start off there. Sometimes it takes time to find yourself.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's been really good. I can't say enough about it. It'll take you a lot of places.
It will.
Yeah.
So speaking of you started off somewhere and then you moved to where you found nursing.
Mm-hmm.
What was your nursing journey? So when you started off in school, you figured out you wanted to go into nursing.
Mm-hmm.
How was your journey? How did it begin?
So I think it's a little bit different now. And in speaking with some of the people some of the younger kids who are in school now, it seems to be a lot different than what I remember of how it worked for me. But got into nursing school, and I went and got a job as a CNA. So I was working as a CNA while in school, which worked out well because it helps with those, learning to do the ADLs and turning and bathing patients and all that good stuff. So that worked well for clinicals.
Right.
After that, the place where I was working as a CNA, I got my first nursing job on a med-surg renal floor.
Okay.
It was interesting looking back on it. And then from there, across town to another hospital, and this is all in South Carolina, to another hospital, a level 1 trauma center, working in the ICU, learning the ICU stuff. Started seeing lots of travel nurses coming through, and of course, you're like, wait a minute, they're making way more money than me, and I'm working and doing the same thing. So I decided to start traveling. So did the travel nurse thing for about 7 years. But halfway through the 7 years, I came to Houston on my way to California because I didn't want to drive all the way at one time. Still ICU travel nursing. But when I came here is when I met her. That was about 2002, so 21 years ago, 22 years ago. So that was, between here and California for a few years, and then here permanently. And then from ICU travel nursing to wound care for a little bit, and then to infusion, a nurse coordinator for the infusion center. So got certified to be an infusion nurse, giving all manners of medications. And then at that point, I was like, okay, I think it's something else. And then I decided to go back to school to become a nurse practitioner. And from there to the VA in interventional radiology. I've been there since.
Okay.
So it's been a while.
You've dabbled in a lot of different areas, but that's nursing. It can take you anywhere.
Yes.
There's so many different areas within nursing itself that you can go into. So you don't have to feel like you're stuck in one area. You just got to, get you some additional skills, additional education, and you can move within nursing itself.
And I think that's a great thing because all the stuff that I've done is a small fraction of all the things that you can do in nursing. There's so many things that there's some things that I'm still amazed by, I'm still learning that nurses could do.
Right.
Especially when you work in a hospital, you meet someone, they're working in administration or informatics, and there's a little niche market or a niche area in each modality that I would have never thought about. Exactly. That a nurse is filling that role. It's like, so it offers a lot.
It does.
So it's not just working at the bedside or what a lot of people think.
Exactly.
We do a lot. We can do a lot.
We can. And that's what we are trying to do here at CompassRN is kind of educate, students who want to be nurses who are currently nurses, that there's so much more you can do other than the area that you may be in right now or that, you've heard of as a young person. So that leads us to you, Shantana, because he did mention nurse administration.
Yes.
And that's where, you left off. So how was your nursing journey?
I guess it wasn't straightforward for me either. I struggled in school, especially getting my pre-nursing credits. Mm-hmm. And eventually I was starting to take classes over and over again to increase my GPA. And it was a vicious cycle. And my dad was like, hey, you need to get out of school, period. So I ended up, graduating with a psych degree and a minor in sociology as a bachelor's, but still having a yearning for nursing. Mm-hmm. I ended up being a flight attendant, going and traveling and having a lot of fun with that. Then 9/11 came, and there were furloughs, and I had time to think about what I wanted to do again. And at that time, I decided to go back to nursing school. And maybe a year after that, I met Akil, who, when I met him, he was a travel nurse. So I'm like, wait a minute, you can travel and be a nurse? Yeah, I got to get to it. I still had those pre-nursing credits, and I made them, work for my advantage, because a lot of times when you have a bachelor's degree in something, you can go ahead and go to an ADN school, which is what I did. So I got my ADN in nursing and started working in the ICU. Worked in the ICU for a while, and then ended up in behavioral health as a case manager. Mm-hmm. Enjoyed that. Did that for about 6 years. Then I went into case management for chronic health, and as well as mental health. And I did that for probably another 6 years, and then went into administration after I got my master's, and did that maybe for another 4 years. So I don't even know if all those years add up, but it's been about 20. And yeah, that was my last position as a director.
Okay, so I love both of your stories, because it just tells you that everyone's journey is different. Everyone may not know what they want to do or everyone doesn't grow up knowing that they just want to be a nurse all the time. Something may happen, a light bulb moment, and you're like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And then you make it happen. Whether it's, a straight path from, applying, being accepted, and then you go through school, or if it's, you start here and then you move into a different area, you were doing something totally different, and now you're here. So you can take your time to find where you want to be, but you'll end up where you're supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what both of your journeys.
Yeah.
I that's what I'm gathering from that. And I hope that's what you guys are hearing, is that you don't have to go straight into it knowing that that's what you want to do. But if something is pulling you there, definitely listen to it and follow your dream to where you want to be. So, is there something in your nursing career that really impacted you? Like, what made you feel like, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be, or, I want to really make an impact in this area of nursing? Either one of you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. In every setting, from the ICU to case management to community care, I noticed that there was just a strong lacking for mental health resources. And I felt like, that psych degree that I had, really worked to my advantage in a lot of settings. You cannot separate the person. You can't separate, the mind from the body. And so when you're on the floor as a nurse, you're dealing with all of that. Whether they want to call you a psych nurse or not, you're dealing with the whole person. And there's just not a lot out there to protect and support people. And so I felt like that was a need in the community that I would strive to help with. In whatever setting, I would strive to fill that void.
And I understand that, because I say this when I, have time to speak with younger nurses or nurses who are, trying to figure out their paths, that psych nursing is in nursing. It doesn't matter what area you're working in. You are dealing with it in some shape, form, or fashion.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a new diagnosis of a disease or, disability or something, something that may have happened, whether it's you're dealing with a veteran or someone who's, lost a limb or, going through something different, you're dealing, they are dealing with that emotional or, mental area of their, diagnosis or, what's happening with them, whether it's, a family issue or, who's going to assist me with care or, them having a support system, finances, all those things. You're there to help your patient, and you try to do holistic care. you do your very best as a nurse to give holistic care, but you may not always be able to operate in that capacity. So yes, I definitely agree with everything you're saying about, mental health nursing being within every area of nursing, not just, mental health, so to speak. Yes, you get to focus on that, but even at the bedside, if you're working in labor and delivery, wherever you are, you're touching on it.
Right.
And what about you, Akil? What deeply impacted you or made you want to make a difference within nursing?
For me, it was, I know the three of us are all nurses here, so working at the bedside, you've had those patients, grandma, and you say, hey, grandma, or Miss whoever, this is what we're going to do, and this is what is recommended.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm okay with that, whatever you guys say, you're the experts, you're going to take care of me, so yeah, I'm gonna do it. And that's just one way of it's being said, but to know that someone has literally put their life in your hands, that is powerful, right? That someone put that kind of trust in you. Mm-hmm. You can't abuse that trust, or you shouldn't abuse that trust. And to know that someone trusts you enough to make sure that you're looking out for them. I would want that for me or my loved ones. So I try to make sure that I do my best. I do my best, not try. I do my best to make sure that I don't abuse that trust.
Yes.
And take care of grandma like she's my grandma, right? Just because she didn't have to trust me, or he didn't have to trust me with something that precious, their life, or their health. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing for someone to say, I really don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand all of it, but I know I trust you to take care of me, or to do your best, or do the best for me. That's been my motivator, just to make sure you go above and beyond. Look, if I don't get lunch today, I miss lunch today. It's not going to kill me. But me missing lunch may have made that much a big difference for someone else. An extra 15 minutes, an extra 30 minutes. That's nothing out of my day, but it's really something for someone who's either struggling or something else is going on. That's how I see it. And that's been my motivation. Just make sure I do my best.
Do your best.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do. Every day when we wake up, do our best. Now, you touched on it a little bit, that your current role is a nurse practitioner. Can you elaborate on that right now?
Yeah. So I am a nurse practitioner in interventional radiology. My role, lots of history and physicals, lots of follow-up for procedures that we do, getting people ready for procedures, lots of education post-procedurally. As a provider, it's the view of what we do, the view of the landscape is just a little bit different, because now I have a wider range of responsibilities that I have to that I'm responsible for. Lots of things a lot more things that I'm responsible for. So it's the difference between being a CNA and a nurse. When you're looking at the nurse as a CNA, they're just giving medicines, we're doing all the work, and then you become a nurse and you realize I'm responsible for everything that goes on with this patient. If someone calls, if something happens, the first person they're going to ask is you, what's going on, and you're supposed to know that. And as a provider, you're responsible for making that call, and you need to make the right call, because you're responsible for everything you write, everything you say, everything you do, and you're responsible for knowing about this patient and why are you doing this. Mm-hmm. So that's been it's been interesting. It's been good. It's a challenge, and it's a good challenge. So your question was, what is it like, paraphrasing, what is it like being an NP? Mm-hmm. That's it in a nutshell. It's just a change in what we do, or why you're doing it, and knowing why you're doing it. But leaning on all the years of nursing has made it easier. You may know some of the pathophys, but knowing why helps drive what you're doing, not just knowing, oh, this is this and this is what it is. Okay, knowing that in more detail would drive why you're doing these things. So I like that part. That's the math and science part, right? It's
Yes.
the figuring it out. It's okay, this is what we're doing, and then committing that to your toolbox of things. So.
And for our listeners who are not quite into the nursing area, that's pathophysiology and the anatomy of the body.
Sorry
you
about
see,
that.
he know what he's talking about.
I apologize.
No, you're good. And so, Shantana, what is your current role right now, and what led to that?
So right now, I am a realtor.
Okay.
What led to that? My last 4 years in nursing, I was a nursing administrator. I was managing, 11 emergency rooms, had a staff of like 21 community health workers working with patients and in the community, dealing with struggles of not having a home, dealing with a population of people that don't currently have a home, uninsured, low-income patients, and incorporating new programs into a large hospital system. So, I guess after doing that for 4 years and just having, to take a step back and thinking, is there anything else that I would like to do? Contributing sometimes to, not sometimes, all the time, to a 401k and not knowing if I would have enough to support me when I retire. I wanted to look at other ways to invest. And so I took on a role as a realtor to basically invest in real estate and to build up my retirement plan. I have not walked away from nursing by any means. I will revisit that probably sooner than later, but it's something that the moment is right now for me to do that, to look out for my future and my family's future.
Okay. That's amazing that we don't think about all the time about setting ourselves up for the future. So right now, that's what your focus is, and that's okay. Like you said, you will revisit nursing when that time is right for you.
Yes.
And your family. So, yeah. So is there anything within your nursing journey that you think you would change if you could, or something that you learned about yourself within your journey? Shantana?
That's a great question. What would I change? I don't feel like I would change anything because the things that I went through, the trials that I went through, even the unpleasant ones, perhaps made me the person that I am today. And I feel like I'm right on track. And I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Akil?
A little bit of, that's two things. I agree with her. I like where I am. And where I am is a combination or a culmination of all the things that I've gone through. The one thing that I guess I wouldn't change anything, so now I'm able to look back and share some of the things I did wrong with some of the younger people and say, hey, you don't have to do the same things that I did. You can do it better. And this is what you would do, right? Like she was talking about repeating classes or knowing what it is you need to know for registration or which career path or which classes to take or any of that stuff. That I wouldn't change because now I can tell people, hey, this is what you need to avoid, the whole point of what we're doing. But other than that, no, I wouldn't change anything because it's made me who I am, and I like where I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything, Shanta, that you would like to say to the listeners that are, thinking about going into nursing, they're currently in nursing? Is there a little nursing nugget that you would like to leave them with?
Sure. I like to go all the way back to the beginning, like when I was in school and I was struggling. If this is what you want, just go for it. Try to get yourself a mentor. Try to get somebody in that admissions office to listen to you when you feel like you're going in circles and you're repeating classes. Get involved with CompassRN. Find a mentor there, someone that can guide you and prevent you from going in those circles, because a lot of times all you need is just the advice from the right person. I've been there, and I was able to get out of that, and so can you. If I can do it, and I was not a good student by any means when I first started, you can do it. The other part is once you get into nursing, the options are really endless. I started at the bedside, went into, behavioral health and psych nursing, into case management, and then ended up in leadership. So, the options are really endless. And I forgot to add a job in there that I had before as an infection control nurse. So, if you can think about it, if you can dream it, you can do it. So.
And you, Akil? Is there a nursing nuggets or
nuggets
more that you would like to tell our listeners?
One of the things that I've figured out after I had finished nursing school was that was probably the hardest part of nursing school. And I realized that you can do anything you want to. It's just a sacrifice of time. Because that's what nursing was. That's what nursing school was. It's not that you can't learn the information. It's a lot of stuff that they expect you to learn for a 50-question test. You got 500 pages to read, and they don't tell you, hey, just go read it, come take this test. So it's a sacrifice of time. And what are you willing to trade? And I find that to be true of most things in life. At least for me it was, right? What are you willing to sacrifice? If you're willing to sacrifice your time and get it taken care of, you can do it. Like Sean said, I'm not going to say that I'm the smartest person, but I'm going to work. I may outwork you. I might not be smarter than you, but I'm going to put the work in. And time again, that has worked. You put your work in, put your time in, make the sacrifice of time, which is your most important asset. And it usually pans out. It may not pan out exactly how you had it in the way you had it laid out, but it still works. I haven't met where hard work hasn't worked out for me. So you can't eat the elephant all at once. It's bite by bite. Every semester in nursing school and in grad school, you start out and you see the rubric and you go, there's no way. And then after the first test, it's like, Second test is like, okay. Third test, it's like, okay, only got one more to go. And the rubric gets smaller and smaller. Again, it's just bite by bite, sacrifice of time, prioritizing, doing what you need to do, handling your business, not playing around, because you don't have time to do that. So that's my nugget is a sacrifice of time, but it's worth it.
It is, because almost 30 years in the game after you took that time to dive in and focus.
Yes.
And then with Shantana, your journey wasn't what you thought it was going to be, but it happened how it was supposed to for you. 20 years in and more to come. Yes. And so that's just a testimony that you can, let our listeners know that everything doesn't happen how you think it's going to happen, but if you sacrifice your time and you sit down and figure out where you want to be, you can do anything.
Definitely.
That's right.
Definitely.
Well, I thank you guys for taking time to sit with me, and it was a great privilege to speak with both of you today.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
I thank you guys for taking time to listen with us and to be a part of our podcast today. You can find us on all social media platforms at CompassRN. And as always, no matter where you are in your nursing journey, you always have a nurse navigator to help you along the way. Have a good day, guys.